Life, we are told, is full of problems. From the moment we wake, we are trained to solve, to fix, to overcome. The world hands us puzzles wrapped in fear and urgency, and we set off with clenched fists, certain that each piece of life is a riddle waiting to be solved. But here's the paradox. What if the problems we think we have are not problems at all? Imagine this. You're sitting in a room, breathing, feeling the air move in and out of your lungs. Your heart beats. The world spins. And yet your mind is abuzz. It plays a relentless game of what if, a haunting loop that imagines disaster, failure, and endless responsibility. But what if, just for a moment, you step back and ask, what is truly wrong right now? Could it be that the very act of identifying problems is the problem itself? We live under the illusion that life is a series of obstacles. We think the universe is an exam we must pass. But what if it isn't? What if we've been conditioned to see life as a struggle? The mind convinces us that every delay, every misstep, every unfulfilled expectation is a sign of failure, when in reality, it is simply part of the flow. Consider this. The tree does not fight the wind. The river does not resist the rocks in its path. Nature does not struggle to survive. It simply flows, adapts, and becomes what it must. But here we are, in a state of perpetual motion, trying to solve things that perhaps I don't need solving. What we call problems are often only mental projections, shadows cast by our resistance. And so we ask ourselves, what if we stopped trying to solve everything? What if, instead of seeing every challenge as a threat, we saw it as an invitation to learn, to grow, to simply be? What if we took the courage to trust that life, in its mysterious unfolding, is already doing exactly what it needs to do? Life is not a problem to be fixed. It is a dance to be joined. We have misunderstood this, chasing after answers when the truth is always right here. In the simple act of breathing, in the stillness between thoughts, the answers we seek are not found in the noise of the mind, but in the quiet surrender to what is. What if, instead of fighting life's natural rhythms, we learn to move with them? Could it be that peace lies not in fixing everything, but in accepting that life, as it is enough? Let me know your thoughts, and I will proceed with the next part. Once you're ready, the mind, with all its power and brilliance, has a curious tendency. It seeks to control. It believes that if it can manage, predict, and categorize every experience, life will be more manageable, more certain. Yet, in its attempt to hold on to every thought, to define every moment, it creates a prison. You see, the mind is not a neutral observer of life. It is an active participant, constantly interpreting, analyzing, and creating stories. Every event is filtered through its lens, each one labeled as good or bad, right or wrong. The mind is forever chasing after some elusive sense of order. But what if, in doing so, it locks us into a state of perpetual discontent? Have you ever noticed that the more we think about something, the more complicated it becomes? A small issue, when overthought, grows into a mountain. The mind twists and turns, weaving threads of anxiety, self-doubt, and fear, until what was once simple is now a labyrinth. We become trapped, not by the world around us, but by the stories we tell ourselves about it. The mind convinces us that if we just figure things out, if we just think long enough, we will arrive at peace. But peace never comes through thought alone. The true trap is not in the challenges we face, but in our attachment to the need to solve them. This frantic, restless thinking becomes a prison of our own making. We bind ourselves to the illusion that unless we figure it all out, unless we control every detail, we will be lost. We tie our happiness, our peace, our worth to outcomes that are beyond our control. And so, we remain in a state of constant anxiety, constantly fighting the current. But what if, just for a moment, we stopped trying to fix everything? What if we allowed the mind to rest, to take a step back, and simply observe? The world around us is always moving, always changing, and yet, here we are, clinging to the belief that we must control it. What if we trusted that life is unfolding just as it should, that the rhythm of existence is not something to fight, but something to flow with? The mind is not our enemy. But when we mistake it for the whole of who we are, it becomes a tyrant. It demands answers. It demands certainty. It demands control. But life does not operate on certainty. It is fluid, mysterious, and ever-changing. The mind may be powerful, but it is also limited. It cannot grasp the entirety of existence. It cannot control the flow of the river. The question then is not how to control the mind, but how to release its grip. When we stop identifying so strongly with our thoughts, we begin to experience a different kind of freedom. The freedom of simply being, of observing without judgment, of participating without needing to direct every movement. And in this freedom, we rediscover a peace that has always been there, waiting patiently for us to notice it. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll move on to part 3 when you're ready. Life is not a problem to be solved, but a dance to be joined. It's an elegant and unpredictable rhythm, a movement of energy, ideas, and events that is constantly shifting, always evolving. And yet, we often find ourselves trying to control this dance, as if we could command the music to play at our pace, to bend to our will. But what if, instead of trying to conduct the orchestra, we became a part of it? What if we simply allowed ourselves to move with the music? We are taught to see life as a series of steps to be completed, tasks to be finished, a race to be won. But this vision turns life into a contest, a competition against time, a never-ending quest for some illusory finish line that keeps moving further away. The truth is, the moment you start chasing the finish line, you lose the rhythm. You begin to miss the music of the present moment, the joy of simply moving, of being in the dance itself. Life is not a race, it is a dance. And in a dance, you cannot control every step, every move. You can only flow with it, trusting that the rhythm will guide you. Think of the river. It doesn't force its way through the rocks, it flows around them, adjusting to the terrain, bending when necessary, but always moving forward. The river does not question its path. It trusts in the natural flow, and by doing so, it becomes an unstoppable force. But we, as humans, are so often caught in a different kind of dance, one of resistance. We fight against life's rhythm, against its natural unfolding, because we want things to go our way. We want certainty. We want control. But when we cling too tightly, when we push too hard, we only create tension. We try to force the flow, and in doing so, we break the dance. What if, instead of trying to force life to conform to our desires, we simply trusted it? What if we stopped struggling against the current and let the river carry us, trusting that it would lead us exactly where we need to go? The beauty of life lies not in the certainty of the destination, but in the freedom of the movement itself. Life is constantly changing. The music is never the same. It shifts in tone, in pace, in intensity, but the dance remains. And the more we surrender to it, the more we trust in the rhythm of existence, the more we find ourselves dancing effortlessly. There is power in this kind of surrender, not the surrender of defeat, but the surrender of alignment. When we stop forcing, we align with the natural flow of life. And in that alignment, everything begins to unfold. We don't need to control the music to dance. We don't need to know every step ahead of time. All we need to do is listen, feel, and move. And in that movement, life begins to guide us, each step more graceful than the last. The more we let go of our need to control, the more the dance becomes effortless. So, the question is not how to move faster or better, but how to join the dance, how to move with the rhythm, how to let go of the urge to control and allow life to carry us forward. Because when we do, we realize that life was never something we had to conquer. It was always a dance, waiting for us to step into the flow. Let me know your thoughts. And when you're ready, I'll move on to part 4. Désir, it seems, is the pulse of life. It pushes us forward, urging us to seek, to reach, to grow. Without desire, we might stagnate, caught in the stillness of apathy. And yet, here lies the paradox. The more we chase after desire, the more elusive it becomes. The harder we grasp, the farther it slips from our fingers. Think about it. We desire success, love, happiness, and peace. And in the chase, we think we will find fulfillment. But often, when we reach for these things, we find that they are just out of reach, like a horizon that shifts the moment we get close. So we strive harder, work more, push ourselves, believing that if we just achieve enough, acquire enough, become enough, we will find contentment. But the strange thing is, in this very pursuit, we miss the present moment, where everything we truly seek already exists. Desire is not the problem. It is our relationship with it that causes the tension. The mind tells us that we must strive for something, that happiness is a goal we must reach, a treasure that must be earned. But what if desire is not meant to be a destination? What if desire, in its purest form, is meant to guide us to something deeper, not something we can possess, but something we can experience? Consider the flower. It does not strive to bloom. It simply opens to the sun, responding to the rhythm of the earth. It does not ask for validation from the world. It does not measure its growth against other flowers. It simply grows, unfolding in its own time. And perhaps this is the lesson to desire, is not to grasp, to chase, to force. To desire is to allow life to unfold within us, to respond to the natural rhythm of existence without the need for control. The paradox is this: when we stop chasing after desire, when we let go of the belief that we must attain something to be complete, desire shifts. It becomes a gentle pull, an invitation to experience life as it is, without expectation. And when we let go of the urgency to reach the goal, we find that the very act of desiring becomes the fulfillment itself. Desire is not a burden, it is a gift, guiding us into deeper awareness, deeper connection, deeper being. But here's the catch: this doesn't mean that we stop wanting or stop acting. It means that we stop acting out of a belief that we need something to feel whole. We act because it is in our nature to express, to create, to experience. And in that act, we find fulfillment, not in the end result, but in the dance itself. The desire to climb the mountain, to build, to love, these are all expressions of life. But the moment we make them the measure of our worth, we fall into the trap of believing that we are incomplete without them. So, we must learn to hold desire lightly, as we would hold a bird. If we clutch it too tightly, it will suffocate. If we hold it too loosely, it will fly away. But if we hold it gently, with reverence and respect, we find that it becomes part of the flow, not a source of strain, but a natural expression of our being. The paradox of desire is that when we stop chasing it, we find that it has always been with us, already fulfilled. not in the objects we seek, but in the experience of life itself. And when we embrace this, desire no longer drives us, it inspires us, guiding us on the path of becoming who we are, not who we think we should be. Let me know how this feels. And once you're ready, I'll proceed to the final part. There is a profound peace in surrendering to the rhythm of life. When we stop fighting against the current, when we stop trying to control each moment, something extraordinary happens. We begin to move with life, not against it, and in that movement, we find a harmony that was always there, waiting for us to trust it. We have been taught to believe that life is something we must conquer, that we must strive, control, and force our way through each day. But the truth is, life is not a battle to be won. It is a flow to be embraced. Imagine trying to control a river. You cannot stop the current, nor can you change its course. All you can do is surrender to its flow. Move with it, and trust that it will take you exactly where you need to go. But we resist, we fight, we clutch at the shore, terrified that if we let go, we will be swept away. We fear uncertainty, so we hold on to what we know, even if it no longer serves us. We cling to the past, to old identities, to familiar outcomes, all in an attempt to avoid the discomfort of not knowing. Yet, in doing so, we create resistance, and resistance is the source of all suffering. What if we let go of that resistance? What if we stop trying to control every step, every outcome, and instead trusted that life, in its infinite intelligence, knows exactly where it is taking us? What if we allowed ourselves to be carried by the current, trusting that each twist and turn is part of the journey, part of the unfolding of our true path? Trust is not about knowing the outcome. It is about knowing that we are already on the path, already exactly where we need to be. Life does not need our frantic effort. It needs our presence. It needs our ability to listen, to surrender, to trust. When we stop trying to force life into a shape that fits our plans, we make space for something far greater than our limited minds can conceive. It is a strange and beautiful thing. The more we trust, the more life begins to align with us. Opportunities appear, connections are made, and doors open, often in ways we could never have imagined, not because we forced them, but because we stopped resisting them. The universe does not need our control. It needs our willingness to flow with it. This does not mean we become passive. Trusting the flow is not about sitting back and waiting for life to happen to us. It is about engaging with life fully, but without the desperation to control the outcome. It is about moving through life with grace, with ease, with the understanding that we are part of something much larger than ourselves, something that is unfolding perfectly, even when it seems uncertain. The paradox is clear. The more we let go of our need to control, the more we find ourselves aligned with the very things we seek. The more we trust, the more life meets us halfway. It is in the letting go that we receive. It is in the surrender that we find freedom. And in that freedom, we discover the peace that has always been available to us, not because the world is perfect, but because we have stopped demanding it to be. So, take a deep breath. Let go of the need to figure it all out. Trust that everything, in its own time, will unfold exactly as it should. Trust the flow, for it is always leading you home. This concludes the script. Let me know your thoughts. And if you're satisfied, we can discuss any revisions or further ideas